Today I want to talk about blind spots. I feel like half of success in anything, well, I don't know about half, I just say half. I don't know the actual percentages, I've never measured it. But I feel like a significant part, an important part of being successful in anything is overcoming your blind spots, or being made aware of your blind spots. So that's where mentors and coaches and teachers come into play and help you learn things. I feel like as long as you're in something, you can still have blind spots. You know, a person who's been a Christian for 60 years can still have blind spots. And if there's nobody telling them where to look, that's the whole, I don't know if you're aware of the competence, levels of competence. So there's unconscious incompetence. So you're not aware of something, and you're not aware of how bad you are at it. Maybe the person who sings in the shower, but they're just not aware of how bad they are. They've never cared or whatever. And then maybe one day they hear, they record themselves singing, or somebody records them singing one day, and then they become aware of how bad they are. So, or a better example is somebody who's never tried to sing before. They just have no idea whether they're good or not. They're unaware of how their level of competence regarding it. So then they try to sing, record it, become aware of how poorly they sing. Then, if they're motivated, they can go and take singing lessons. So, when you're first learning something, you're trying to that's when you become consciously competent. So you're aware of the things that you know and don't know. So with singing, how to breathe. I'm not a singer, so I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. How to breathe and intervals and scales or whatever. Singing exercises. Just practicing different pieces, placement of the tongue, things like that. How to properly form the vowels. So all these things. I'm just kind of making it up, but that's conscious competence. You're aware of your level of skill at it, and aware of how to do things. And then unconscious competence is when you become so good at things that you don't need to think about it anymore. You can just sing. A performer who has practiced singing a piece so much that they don't even have to think about it anymore. They just do it. These old bands, these bands from the 60s, even the 50s, who are still touring somehow. I thought I got off on the wrong exit. That's what that eyebrow was. They've performed their songs for 70 years, 60 years now. They probably don't have to think at all. They can just kind of watch the crowd, get caught up in the moment. I don't even know. But somebody's been doing the same thing for that long. But at the same time, bad habits can develop over time. So I'm sure those guys still practice, but they don't need to practice that hard. And I'm sure that, being in a band, they would. There's accountability and feedback right there. So So they know, like, okay, am I up to snuff? You know, am I doing this thing off? Am my beard off? You know, my ability to do this thing, you know, am I off key? Whatever. It can be like that with anything. I heard a fantastic analogy the other day for like growth as a person, and it was likened to growth of a tree. So in a perfect environment, a tree in theory, but you know, in theory would grow straight up, completely straight, trunk, everything completely straight in a perfect environment. But because of, you know, different factors, whatever, trees can, you know, grow one way or the other. Now imagine yourself as a tree. The things that you focus on bend you a certain way, and if you keep focusing on those instead of being balanced in your growth, you're going to end up being, you know, an arch tree. You're just going to you specialize too much at the expense of everything else. So as a Christian, if, you know, you focus a ton on learning scripture, you're that guy that's everybody, you know, you're the one that knows the passage and, you know, has looked through the different translations or whatever. That's great, but have you sacrificed other very important things? You know, do you know all the scripture, but then you kind of lord it over people and judge other people? Are you hard-hearted about your knowledge of scripture? Do you? I don't even know where it would apply. Do you spend a ton of money on their new Bibles to study that you know you're in debt? I don't know. You know, I'm trying to give an example here, but do you? I don't know. Do you go on quiz shows, waste a lot of time? I don't know. But I hope you get it. What I'm trying to say here is, or are you so busy, like other examples, you know, are you so busy trying to be a minimalist that now that's your focus, and you are not praying, or you're not reading scripture, or you're you know doing it so your tree is bent. Which way is your tree bending too much to one way? Is it eventually gonna, you know, be weakened? Because if a tree grows too much in one direction, eventually its roots won't be able to, and it'll topple over with, you know, with a windstorm or a heavy snow or heavy rain, and the ground gets softened. So that's a thing. So those blind spots that would lead you that's some of the stuff I'm putting out. That's what I'm trying to give to people, is to just help them find their blind spots. So, okay, what's holding me back? You know, I feel like I'm soft-hearted. You know, I'm a joyful person, always helping people, compassionate, empathetic. I've forgiven people. I forgive them easily. You know, I have knowledge of Scripture. I pray. I read the Gospels every day. But, you know, does that person not have great discipline with themselves? And do they spend more than they make? Or are they, you know, do they treat themselves a little bit too much to baked confections or pizza, or do they drink too much alcohol? You know what I mean? So it's like you can be good in a couple areas, but in these other areas you can still be very weak. I mean, I guess in anything it's hard to be strong in every aspect of a thing. There are always trade-offs to be, but I think that's important. That's why I'm trying to give you the easy in. You know, just pray every day and pray about your day too. Like at the end of the day, review your day. It's like, okay, where did I go wrong? What do I need to pray about? Was I angry? Did I, want more than I need? Did I look at somebody else's life and think that should be my life? God, you got it wrong. I should be, 6'6" and, rich and, have perfect skin or whatever. So that's what I'm trying to do. Or you can have all three, but for whatever reason you don't have the habit of helping people. You can have a soft heart. You're forgiving of other people, but that's an internal thing. Externally, do you look out into the world with generous eyes and see if you see struggle or opportunity? Do you see the opportunities to perform acts of kindness, random acts of kindness? I don't know. I don't think it's... So, it's all about getting rid of the things in your way and trying to find your blind spots. Your blind spots are probably in one of the things that I'm suggesting. Either you're holding on to, you're holding on to a desire for outcomes that you didn't get in the past. You're ignoring your limitations. You can't go into the past. You can't change other people. You can't truly know what's in their heart behind their actions, or the bigger picture, God's plan. You can't. Well, you don't know God or wisdom unless you're reading the Bible. Really, I don't think, and especially the Gospels. I really think the Gospels are the most important part of the Bible, because if you're trying to be Christ-like, why not read what Christ said? And then attachments to the world, comfort. Look at your life and where you have comfort and pleasure and security, and just look to see if those things are distracting you. And then after you've done that, I feel like then you can start looking. But you can always start looking. It always helps, because that helps soften your heart too. Actually, is acts of kindness, looking to do those things for other people, opportunities. But just seeing the world in terms of those eyes, how you can share and be an example of what a soft-hearted, faithful, person who's not, who knows what's really important and isn't wrapped up in consumerism and hedonism, isn't wrapped up in their own comfort and pleasure. So, pray this finds you. I'm going to keep trying. All right. Peace to you.